but it also could be who you're talking to. So I thought that this would be a very, very important topic to share with everybody. And so I have three, hold on a second. I have three objectives for today. So first of all, I want to instill the importance of knowing your target market. Second, I want to provide some practical tips on how you can determine your target market. But first and foremost, I want to prove to all of you that to some degree, you are marketers. Okay. Okay. First, let's ground everybody. What is a target market? Well, it's a group of potential customers to whom a business wants to sell its products or services. Okay. Let's just ground everybody in that. Now, I want you guys to tell me who the target market is for this brand. I'm going to play a clip. It's a commercial, but I want you to tell me who you think it is. Hang on. Okay. I have to toggle back and forth because it's on a protected screen.
If you don't want to fall immediately and immutably into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, then please look away.
Okay, so who is that commercial for?
You guys can type in your answers on the chat too if you guys don't want to yell it out loud. Let's see what people say.
Sorry.
That was interesting.
So who is that target for? If anybody wants to, you could.
So far,
I
people
would
are
say
saying
someone affluent and someone on the younger side, perhaps, not necessarily someone older.
Not
They're
necessarily.
young men.
Young man. Okay. Well, okay. Let's start with this. Male or female?
Everyone is saying men.
Okay. How old? Give me a 10-year age group. Like 25, 35, 30, 40, 10-year age group.
They're saying 40 and over.
Okay. What's the race? White, Hispanic, Latino, black? Who is it?
wow.
Anyone who likes to drive fast.
I think everyone, yeah.
I think
Okay.
everyone.
Okay. Now, there's some good guesses in there, okay? But from that, we can surmise it is male. The age group is about 45 to 55, predominantly white, has a household income of about 150,000, college educated, and single/divorced. Now, why that last one?
Because it's almost like a midnight crisis commercial.
For sure.
They're looking for a way to pick up a lady.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I think everyone on the call has a friend, unfortunately, or someone they've met.
It was like temptation.
Yeah.
It's like temptation. Like look
Yeah.
away.
okay,
Look
well,
away.
yes.
Yeah,
So,
agreed.
like I said, you guys have the marketing. There's a foundation for becoming a marketer there, but you can even extend it further. If they like that type of car, you might assume that they like to travel. They have other hobbies and tastes, like the clothing that they wear, what they drink, cigars. Maybe that's a part of it. You can take it as far as political affiliation, religion. You can take it this far. Now, you guys haven't seen the data that Alfa Romeo has, but this is what shows them that this is their best customer. So getting back to single and divorced, when I saw this commercial, I was working at home and I had the TV on behind me and I heard this voice come on. It says, if you don't want to do this, look away. If you don't want to do this, look away. And I'm yo como un tonto. The first thing I do is I look to the TV, because that voice, and from that, we can basically assume and surmise male, this old, this race, household income is this, and so forth. So it's like a puzzle. This is what separates marketing from advertising. This is, advertising is basically announcing what you do, And marketing is really getting into the mindset so that you can, seduce. Advertising is promotion, marketing is seduction. Okay, but because Alfa Romeo did this, they focused their message. They were able to talk to the right audience, basically consumers that are most likely to buy their brand. And if you get to that point and identify who that is, then it really does open up how you should be talking to them. What is the media? What are the social media sites that they visit? What are the websites that they visit? You can kind of piece it all together once you know who that audience is. Now, the other thing is the budget. And I've talked to people that, they have their marketing budget. And I think that what they're doing is trying to do a scatter approach. They're trying to hit everybody with a generic message. So what this basically is saying is like, focus on who your best customer is. And if you do, you can get the right message in front of them, and it's going to have that impact. So basically, it's a greater likelihood that they're going to feel like you're talking directly to them. So that is the benefit of doing this. Okay, marketers, you ready? Oops. Example number 2. I don't have a commercial for this, but I want you to tell me who you think the target market is for Starbucks. I can't see the chat. So whatever, if you want to just yell it out, doesn't matter. We're Latinos, we do this stuff. So who's the target market? First of all, male or female?
Female?
Female.
How old?
Between women.
How old?
35 to 45.
Oh, okay. Where do they live? City, suburb?
Market.
City.
City.
Okay.
Market.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to add some perspective. $2.86 versus $17 times 3. On the left, before I had my studio, that's actually what I spent every time I went to a Starbucks. I bought a small coffee. I was there 5 hours, maybe 3 hours. I bought a small coffee, $2.86. Over to the right, and this is a Starbucks by the house, there's a group of 3 to 4 women sometimes. They would start by having their morning drink, usually much more than a small cup of coffee. Then they would still be there talking, socializing. They'd move into a fruit plate or something, or maybe a breakfast sandwich, maybe a bottle of water afterwards. And it turns out that on average, they were spending about $17 times 3 times a day. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because there's a misconception. So let's first of all look at, we can surmise that it is female. I don't know who said 30 to 40, but it's about 35 to 45. Married, or at least a mom of children, household income. This is probably living in the suburbs where their best customer resides. White, college educated, and we can take it even further. Suburban, as I said, maybe a homemaker or works part-time. From this, you can gather what some of the hobbies and maybe some of their tastes might be in terms of clothing, and also carrying it out to political affiliation. So these are 10 things, 10 characteristics about a target consumer that we can basically assume for ourselves. I'm Starbucks' worst customer. I spent $2.86 because I have all the receipts that say it when I did it last year. I'm their worst customer. So when I talk to a restaurant owner and they say, I wish I can get more out of my marketing, I would ask them, so who are you talking to? Who do you want to sell to? Well, I'll sell to anybody. I want to, and it's a common, it's a natural inclination. If you're in the service industry, you're in, your insurance or realtor, you want any customer. But if you can focus your message on the one person and persona that's basically going to be more inclined to buy from you, that's what you need to do. So I use the Starbucks I want to clear up a misconception, because arriving at your target market doesn't mean you're going to exclude other customers. And basically it comes down to an exceptional product or service is always your best form of marketing. But if you can focus that message and the media, you avoid, again, what's called the shotgun approach. If you do a shotgun approach, basically it dilutes your unique selling proposition. But if you can do that, you're going to get more efficient use out of your marketing budget. Okay. So you guys did pretty good. Okay. I have one more example. This one's a little bit trickier. Let's play it.
Last week, January 23rd, Burger King went through my old tweets and they liked 3 of my tweets from 2010. So I screen captured it and I tweeted, "Why is Burger King liking my 8-year-old tweets?" That tweet was liked by 13,600 people. Then today I see this article on Complex that says, "Here's why Burger King was liking your old tweets." Burger King had many on Twitter perplexed after the fast food company began liking people's tweets from 2010. I wasn't the only one. There's a bunch of other YouTubers and just social media folk that fell for this trap. Complex goes on to say, "The reason behind the move, Burger King is bringing back funnel cake fries." I mean, it's not nice to manipulate us into hawking your sugar-coated French fries. And the thing that upsets me the most about all this is it's just how genius it was. We were like the little mice. We went for the cheese in the trap and it snapped on us. You win, Burger King. Oh, I'm making this video right now, but I'm still angry. I want a little something in return. I'm a big fan of, and I do what I can to support the Boys and Girls Club and Make-A-Wish. And I'm just thinking, Burger King, you know, I already gave you the value by blasting this tweet out. Maybe we could make amends. Maybe we could help some kids. Maybe we could do something good. Burger King's gonna donate to each of those organizations $25,000. I don't know much about Burger King. I definitely didn't know anything about them before making that joke video 2 days ago. In getting to know them, I appreciate their open-mindedness and their candor with this. I appreciate it.
All right. So who is the target market?
From 2010.
Oh, sorry. Who is the target market? This one's a little bit tricky, but you guys have done so really good thus far. Male or female? Start with that.
I say male.
Male.
Mhm.
Okay. How old?
Younger, 20, maybe
20 to 25.
16 to 25.
Okay. So we're assuming that they're single then, right?
Mm.
Okay. Young. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at it. Okay. We can assume male, 18 to 24, single, household income maybe 25,000, white, some college. And you take it further. This is where it gets interesting. So whereas the first 2 examples focused on the left side of the column, Burger King basically focused on this. They already knew the left side so well. They said, we know that they're gamers, heavy users of apps. They hate being marketed to, and they want their brands to stand for something. So this is an example of Burger King knowing their target market so well. They said, if we come out and try and reach them directly, they're going to ignore us. But what we are going to do is talk to their influencers, the people that they follow. And it was it cost them $0 to like tweets that were 8, 9, 10 years old. So somebody had done the research that said, the group that you want to talk to, they're following these guys. And they just did it with a bunch of influencers. And it brought them back into the conversation brilliantly. It's a brilliant campaign. Now there's, obviously Burger King has their marketing budget and they have the budget for, charity work and so forth. They had that there. But they basically paid $0 to just like tweets from the influencers that have the eyes and attention of their primary target. All right. So basically, this is just kind of summing it all up. But the impact of the last one is that they added a social cost to their efforts. And that's what young people want. I mean, Starbucks, or anybody that's trying to eliminate straws, or save the planet. This is important to this consumer. So they found a brilliant way to make it in where it wasn't directly marketed, but indirectly from the influencer. Okay, now I've showed you 3 examples. I think there's some really good potential for some marketers there. So, here are some tips on how to get to your target market. First thing you can do is you can conduct a client audit. And if you have a client database, categorize it. So if you have your records somewhere, there might be something that rises to the top. Do you find yourself that you have primarily male or female, older, married clients that follow you? And if you can break it out into your primary, secondary, that you're segmenting your market. So again, your budget is going to determine if you can go after your primary target, but also maybe a secondary target. But you got to know who they are first. Now, do you have more than one, a certain type of a client? Maybe it's, and again, like if you sell insurance, you might have older couples or younger couples with families. And this is going to point out maybe some tips on where you should start. If you don't have a database, think about your newest clients over a certain time period. Say, who have been my clients over the last 6 months, the last 3 months, the last year? I don't know. It depends on the volume of customers that you get over that time frame. But then go through the same exercise. Are there any commonalities? Age, marital status, sex, families, veterans, etc. Now, if you're just starting out, or you don't know your information, maybe your data is all over the place. Maybe it's random, but you can decide that. There's a reason why you started your business, and it's probably to help a certain customer in mind. So go with that. If you don't know what it is, determine it. You might tweak it along the way, but this is what you can do. Second thing, once you've done the first one, you have that in social media language, it's the emoji. Who's your emoji? Who's your primary target? Who's your best customer? Whatever you want to call it, but then craft a message directly to that consumer. And when I say this, the first thing is communicate the one benefit you think will best resonate with them. Don't try and throw everything in the kitchen sink in the message. As consumers, we get about 2,500 messages a day. And this is not just billboard and pop-ups, but it's basically, branded on my coffee cup, on a backpack. Brands are fighting over each other to get in front of you so that you will remember them. But if you throw more than one benefit in your message, you're going to confuse people. What is the one thing you want to stand for? Second thing is there's Google industry surveys, top things people want from their realtor, or whatever the category is, the data is out there. So you can, basically say, okay, what is my starting point in terms of what I should be saying to them? And then the third one is basically determine how best to reach them. There are research platforms out there. One is called Sprout Social. I've put it here. But you can basically get a profile of the people that are on Facebook, that are on LinkedIn, that are, it provides a lot of data that's out there. So if you want to do a Facebook, an ad buy, you type in the parameters. Again, it's got to align with who your best customer is, either from your database, your segmentation, or just doing your own analysis of who your best customers are. Try and weed it out. Remember Starbucks, I'm their worst customer, okay? But if you can get to that top customer, then you're golden. Okay, some other tips. Create a persona, as I said, an emoji. Paint a picture in your mind of who that target consumer is. Go as far to give them a name, Dwayne is a 55-year-old married, lives in the suburbs, paint that picture. Because then what it does is it makes it easier to generate, create a message that's going to resonate with them. This is actually something I recently read about. Number 2 is survey current and former customers. They can offer valuable insights as to why they chose you, and more importantly, why they stopped using you. So reaching out to somebody, even if it's from you thought you were cultivating the perfect buyer seller, if you're a realtor, and they didn't choose you, reach out to them. Doesn't hurt. Or again, the thing is, you've got to get into their mindset. Marketing is a mindset game. How do you get into their mind to figure out what they're thinking, what they think about you, because it's going to help you market it to other people. The third one is one that I've heard a lot when I see it on social media, and basically this is a call to say, avoid common marketing messages. And I'm just using this as an example. Looking to buy or sell, call me. I see this a lot with realtors, and this is not, again, I'm not saying this doesn't work. I'm saying that there's a better opportunity to really stand out from the tons of messages that people are getting. But you got to know who that person is before you can craft the right message to them. I hope that makes sense. I've got my screen full, so I can't see it. So basically, I want to sum it up. Target market, as we said, is the group of potential customers to whom a business wants to sell its products or services. You can have more than one target. And if you have unlimited budget, you can have 10 targets. But your first target is your primary one, and that's going to be the consumer most likely to buy from you. You can conduct an audit of the consumers. And again, if you don't have a database, think about who your most recent clients were as a reference. That's a good starting point. If you're just starting out as a business owner, think about why you started that business in the first place. Because you did so with the purpose in mind of selling to somebody or helping somebody out. Create a profile, an emoji. Put that picture of that person right in your mind so that you know whenever you want to create your own ads or on social media, Instagram, whatever, it's going to be with the intent to make a connection with that person. Next one is just that target market, having it available for efficient, it just allows for more efficient spend of whatever your marketing budget is. If it's tiny, if it's abundant, whatever, it allows more. You're going to get the same message out to a select group of people rather than doing a scattergun approach, which is basically a diluted message, and you're going to reach them less frequently. Avoid common marketing messages. As I said, in marketing speak, we call that wallpaper, because then everybody's saying it, then people don't know how to choose you or how to stand out. Now, one of the things that I do, I also focus on personal branding. And so I help clients stand out from highly competitive markets. The way I see it, I used to work on, at Leo Burnett and the big agencies where I worked on Kellogg's for 6 years. And I remember somebody asking me, like, how could you work on one brand for 6 years? I said, they have 80 products. It's like, so every product had its own personality. So what I've done is I just transfer that, personal branding is also branding. So I apply the same thinking and strategic thinking to branding people that I did for products. But the goal, if you can deliver a singularly focused message, your target will feel like you are talking directly to them, which will increase the likelihood they will buy from you. Okay, I went through that kind of quickly. I want to open up to see if there are any questions.
First of all, before we go to questions, just a round of applause for Miguel real quick. So thumbs up in there, put some smiley faces.
Professor Paloma.
Professor Paloma, that's what I'm talking about.
You guys are all marketers now. Come on.
Yeah, no, you said a lot of things that I'm gonna take away for sure. But I'll go to questions. So if anybody has any questions, and if you're shy or you want to type it into the chat, go ahead. We're on Facebook Live as well, ladies and gentlemen. So you're getting viewed on there as well.
Let me do this. Here's my information if you want to reach out to me. Okay. If you want to, and then I'll stop sharing. Then I'll go to questions though. Okay.
Perfect. So I guess I'll warm the ice up and just have a question, Miguel. So how did you get into your line of work? What kind of drove you to what you're doing today?
Well, I'd always had an interest in marketing, and I had aspirations of being a writer, maybe on the creative side. And somebody, recommended that I was probably better served working in account service. So there are three jobs or occupations within primary jobs. It's the account people, which is myself. I was a suit, so I managed a relationship with the client There's the creatives that come up with the idea, and then there's the planners. These are the strategy folks. So I was very privileged to work with extremely talented people on all of those. So I was just looking at what we did, and we worked for some big brands. We did some great award-winning work, but I wanted to carry that further, But as a small business owner, I'm working with small business people, and I kept hearing the same thing, like, or I would see it. Like I said, I would see the wallpaper messages, if you're looking for this, call me. And I think there's a huge opportunity that's missed to really start establishing your brand message with those people. And I actually teach on personal branding now, and the principles of that are, I think everybody has an amazing story within them. I really do. And it takes vulnerability to get that story out.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thank you. That's a great answer. All right. Anybody else have any questions for Miguel?
Miguel, what sort of advice would you give someone who wanted to change their target market? So you have this person in your mind, right? And then it's not really working. So how do you develop that shift?
That's a great question. I have a client that I just worked with. So she's switching. She's doing a pivot from legal to realtor. And so what I do is I have a process where I interview people. There's a document that they fill out for me. And then what I do is I come up with a creative brief for that person. So when we were marketing a brand, we would have a creative brief to market, I don't know, I'm just going to say Frosted Flakes. There was a creative brief document that we all use to develop ideas around. And we came up with what we call the SMIT, the single most important thing. I try and find the single most important thing, but I can't do it. My clients have to tell me, this is who I work with, this is who I want to help, this is what I do. I said, okay. And I match it with their strengths and come up with a creative brief that now they can go to market with one message and say, this is my value proposition. So it really is that analysis of the person, what their purpose is, and who are the people they want to reach. So I don't have the answers. I just sent this, digest all the stuff and come out with it. So, but it has to be an analysis. It's not, you can't guess. I guess, Sylvia, you cannot guess with who you want to reach as a market. You have to do due diligence.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody
Any
else?
other questions?
I was just going to make a comment. People are so bombarded by messages. If you can understand who you're talking to and how you can break through that barrier and grab their attention, you're a step ahead of the game. And you also want to tell them what's unique about you, why you versus the competition. People do business with people they like and people they know. And if you're also offering them meeting their product, and there's a concept, an old advertising concept called the unique selling proposition, that a clock tells time is no big deal. That's what a clock is supposed to do. But if it's digital and lights up at night, well, there's my benefit if I've got bad eyesight. It's that little thing. Everyone wants to buy a bicycle, but if I'm a grandma, I want to be pulling my kid behind and my grandkid in a little trailer, versus, so what's the unique item on your product or service that will meet their need?
Yeah, absolutely right, Ellen. It's just, basically that's why I said it's the demographics. You start with that, then you move over to the psychographics. And that's what separates the marketing from the advertising. Marketing is mindset. And it helps you really kind of get into, their mind. What can you anticipate them doing? What are some of the triggers? What are the things that are important to them? But everybody's trying to do that. And even though I think you've all done very well as first date marketers, and maybe you guys have been marketing for some time, but you can't trust marketing people. Marketers are evil people. Write that down. Because we get you to buy things that you don't want to buy. So, but it's really a mindset game. Okay. So I don't, you can do this for any category, any business, like restaurant, real estate, service, whatever, personal trainer. Who are the people that you think, you want to target most? Come up with that profile, look at the psychographics, and then craft one message, one point that's going to resonate with them.
Wow.
How, can I ask another question, Miguel, please?
I don't know. Should we let her ask another question? Should we?
Have I reached my limit?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
What, how often should someone be looking at their demographics? You know, you hone this message, right, around this person, but if it's not working or you think it's not working, when do you do your due diligence and your research again?
That's again, Sylvia, great question. You can do it on a trial basis. You can do, Survey Monkey. You can do, was it the survey, the platform? You can just get a read on it. Like, there used to be, the early days of marketing. Barry Gordy, founder of Motown, he used to take a newly printed vinyl 45 and ask people in the neighborhood. There was a really popular fast food restaurant that said, would you rather spend your $2 on this or on this record? And it wasn't yes or no that he used to determine it, but if people hesitated, like they had to think twice, I really like that sound, so there, and I'm using that obviously as a basic example, but now you can just get messages out and just get a read on it, what is resonating. Social media is perfect for that. You can put 3 messages out and see which one is coming back. If you're finding one that's rising to the top, even more so, then, go with that. But what I'm saying is, even before you do the social media effort, do the exercise on your own. Segment, get the persona down pat, come up with a message you think might work, and then go to social media with that. And if it's not delivering for you, then tweak it, change it, do whatever you can, but just keep getting a read on what people think about you and your brand.
Great.
Wow.
Thank you.
I would also, and I want to make a quick comment. I would also challenge some of the people on the call. I know, like myself, I've been in banking for many, many years, and my bank has certain things they do. But like Miguel just said, some of that stuff was done 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and it's very outdated. So I think it's time to hit the refresh button, and you yourself could come up with something that could work for you as a banker, as a manager, whatever it is, State Farm. Get creative with it. The ones people who are really successful are the ones who get really creative and think outside the box. Because we're not the only ones doing what we're doing in our profession. And like Miguel said, it's true. We get bombarded even more now on our phones than ever.
Right.
Ads. So
on that note, Mario, to add to that, and so Miguel, so someone that wants to start gathering, demographics for their target market, what are some of the steps? What's the first thing they should do?
Like I said, if you have a database of your current clients, look at that, analyze that first. If you're just starting out, then it's a clean slate. You can say, okay, I've started my business because I want to help this type of person do what. And those are good first questions that you can get to: age, sex, household income, so forth. Get that demographic side down first. Once you do that, then start looking at the psychographic stuff. Make some assumptions, look at surveys. What do people want from their realtors? What do they want from a personal trainer? The stuff is out there. You have to do a little bit of legwork on that. Okay.
Nice.
Now the other thing that might also help too, and I do this as part of my personal branding. There's archetypes that are out there. These are profiles that you can match with people. And I just did this with my wife. I helped her, and I helped this other client. I helped a guy who lost his job kind of, reposition himself in the marketplace. I don't know the answers. I'm just digesting what he's telling me. But to answer your question, look at your own database, look at your last 6 months of clients or the last year, and there should be something gravitating to the top as who has a higher likelihood of choosing you versus somebody else.
Thank you. Any other questions, guys?
Miguel, I was just going to ask, you mentioned as far as a common post you've seen perhaps on the real estate side where they say, looking to buy or sell, call me. Is there an example you could give that they could kind of deliver that same message but make it more effective?
Well, I think the one of the reasons why I don't like it, and Maestro, great question, because I think people are automatically going for the sell. When you say looking to buy or sell, call me, that you're putting the selling proposition right there. And people are not like that, and Ellen said it. People got to know you, they got to like you, then ultimately they got to trust you. And if they trust you, then you're there. But you coming out with like looking to buy or sell, call me, you're getting right to the sell. And it's like, okay, first of all, people have seen that message all the time. So what I do is for my realtor clients, I try and help position them with something else. I want to know what's important to them. And an example that I use is there's a woman who I'm helping now, and she told me that she's shifting from attorney to real estate now, only because it's, but she said that she sees realtors that are sometimes trying to sell. If they get a loan amount for this amount, then they're trying to get a house for this amount to get the commission, higher commission. But she'll advise her clients of the scenarios and say, you know what, here's a house that's under what you've been approved for. So you aren't like 95% of your revenue isn't going toward here, but it might free up some opportunities to buy a second home in 5 years, 10 years, whatever. So I saw that she's, she knows the numbers so well. She knows the legal side so well, but it's really going to be about her saying, I'm really your path to prosperity realtor. And that's a huge message, because people are like, oh, I'm just thinking about buying one home, but yeah, but if I get a house that's right here, it has my needs, and I can maybe pay more off my mortgage, but it puts me in better financial standing. I can get a loan and buy a second home, whatever. But she's already thinking like that for her clients. And you've got some realtors that are like specializing in short sale, they're specializing in military. It's like, that's a really good one. So we're going to work on that, crafting what that message is going to be for her.
So good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure.
All right. I think we're out of time. So if anybody had any other questions, hey, Miguel, can you put that up again?
Sure,
your information? Yeah, if you can, just reach out to Miguel. Like I mentioned in the chat, he's one of our great board members, one of many of all our board members, and our new board members that have a lot that want to give back. So they've joined our chamber. So if you're not a member, please reach out to me. I left my information there on the cell phone and email. Visit our website if you just simply want to join. If you want to get involved, we are looking for board directors and also committee volunteers. Again, thank you guys for joining today. Quick advertisement, marketing. There's this email. Quick. So this was recorded today. It'll be posted to our YouTube channel, and also this was on Facebook Live. So you might see it on your live. We'll tag some of you if we can on it. Follow us on our social media. On February 23rd, we are having our second annual membership meeting. So if you are a member, you will get a message pretty soon. We're going to have some exciting stuff at that meeting, a guest speaker. So you will be hopefully excited about that. And if you're not a member, if you want, please become one so you can join our meeting. The next Cafecito is scheduled for March 3rd, which is on a Wednesday. They're always on a Wednesdays, every first Wednesday of the month. And it will be brought to you by Elgin Community College. We don't know the topic yet, so we'll get that out to you. But again, kudos to everybody who joined today. Kudos to our board. Oh, there's a finger.
One thing. Sorry, I don't have a website yet. It's being worked on. I'm actually going to work with Louis on it, but I've been contracted to launch an investment tool, so I've been crazy busy with that, and then with the personal branding clients thus far. So I don't have a website yet, but it will be up soon. So okay.
Yeah, and I would encourage anybody on the call today, if you want to have that one-on-one with Miguel, reach out to him. A lot of great information. I'm probably going to have that one-on-one with him when I have a moment. But again, thank you guys for being here today. Very engaged. I don't know if we want to do a screenshot, Sylvia, a picture. We want to do that, or Jason, holding our cups up.
Ay, mira qué lindo.
I'm actually using my cell phone for the meeting today, so I can't get it. I'm sorry.
I got it. Everyone smile.
Who's that baby?
All right, 1, 2.
Got it. Thank you so much all for being here. Nice seeing you.
Have a great rest of the month. Thank you, guys.
So much.
Take care. All right,
guys.
Bye.
Bye.